always gotta go straight with that bit. Yo, welcome back to the chat. So today, hold on, let me put my hood on first. What's up, y'all? So I don't like that. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Hold on, y'all. So today, we're gonna be reacting to Hurricane Katrina, South Mississippi story, the full documentary. So this just got released like 5 days ago. And what's crazy, they always did stuff about Katrina, but it was always about New Orleans. Like they never really showed the light how it happened in like Mississippi. And I feel like not saying I feel like Mississippi got hit by the storm, but the water part, like personal stuff, like because of the city what really destroyed New Orleans, and they was a bigger city, so I feel like that's why they got more coverage. But yeah, so back in around that time, that was like 2005. I was 5. I had just turned 5 in June, and really it's about the anniversary of Katrina about to come up. So so yeah, like I remember Katrina vividly. Katrina was like something that was kind of like COVID, like it made the world different, but I was so young that it didn't affect me like COVID. Like I said, I was only 5. But you know how like when Katrina, you know how like when the hurricane come by, everybody come to y'all house and stuff. Like you got that one designated house that you go to, like when bad weather come. Like so, my house was that house because we was like away from everybody, kind of away from like we had trees around us, but we had the most land that didn't have trees. I guess you could say like that was close to the house, and we had one of the bigger houses and stuff. So like all my whole family that was close on my mom's side came to my house, like all my cousins and stuff, my grandma friends and stuff. They came over and stayed, and I remember like me and my cousin, we all got like air mattresses. We got like flashlights and stuff, and I remember we all went in my grandma and them bedroom and laid down while everybody else was up there watching TV, watching the news and stuff. So this is like my first hurricane that I ever went through. Like that's my first hurricane I ever went through. I ain't gonna cap. So I didn't know what to expect. I was like I said, I was 5. My other cousin, he was probably like 4. My cousin Carlos, he was probably like he was like 5. We was the same age. Then his sister, she was probably like 10. She probably like she probably like she probably if she wasn't 10, she probably was like 8 or 9 or somewhere up in there between 8 and 10. So it was like that was the only kids that was there. The rest of everybody was grown folks. We had our great aunt. She was from New Orleans and stuff. She came and stayed. But I never forget though. I can't remember. I think that was after Katrina. But like the raised to my house was like blocked off. Like power was down. I never forget that my uncle walked all the way from his house to our house, and it's like looking back on it, that's a long walk to walk through the night, bro, by yourself with nothing but a flashlight, bro. That was a long walk. I might do a video on that and like show y'all how far that was. But we about to get into the video. This is my first time watching it. Can y'all see? I can see it. So yeah, let's get into it.
It was a storm that hit with such force.
This is not an Ivan. This is not a Dennis. This is a major hurricane.
And such fury.
The roof went off, and then my husband yelled, "Get off the phone, we gotta go."
It caused South Mississippians to rethink the very standard by which they measure hurricanes.
Unbelievable. The sound, I never dreamed I would have had water in my house.
On August 28, 2005, that standard was Hurricane Camille, a legendary 1969 storm that devastated the area. One day later, the destruction from Camille would pale in comparison.
I watched everything I owned float out the door.
What people saw was astounding.
911, where's your emergency?
It seemed impossible, and to some unthinkable, that South Mississippi could have a hurricane with more destructive power and more deadly force than Camille.
All you seen was the water coming over.
But that's exactly what happened on Monday, August 29th, 2005.
You are absolutely not going to believe what you are about to see.
It's Katrina now. It ain't no more Camille, it's Katrina.
This is South Mississippi's story, the story of Hurricane Katrina. There was no lighthouse to beckon the explorers d'Iberville and Bienville to the shores of the Mississippi coast in 1699. But since their arrival more than 300 years ago, millions have been drawn here to make their homes, to raise their families, to work, or just to enjoy the natural beauty of the South Mississippi that we all love. But on August 29, 2005, one of nature's greatest forces, a monster hurricane named Katrina, would change our vibrant community forevermore. In the weeks and months before Katrina, the area is a blend of excitement, prosperity, and growth. It's
that's
the summer
crazy
of
how like the
2005,
coast used to look before.
and along the coast, there was also controversy.
But it just wrecks the view, and I think it wrecks the whole city.
A debate over building high-rise condos along the coastline grows. People against the development are afraid the changing skyline will destroy the natural beauty of the area.
And I am going to be looking at 5 180-foot concrete slabs.
Another debate is whether to drill for natural gas near the islands in the Mississippi Sound.
Let's don't jeopardize what we have for the sake of letting a couple of guys make a few bucks.
And once again, the quality of life is the focus for people opposed to the drilling.
Our forefathers protected them. We trying to protect them and save them for our children, their children. The main reason why I'm passionate about it is that these islands are sacred. They should be preserved instead of destroyed.
And there is sadness to hear the government is closing Naval Station Pascagoula.
The military is getting smaller, and getting smaller is always tough.
In Biloxi, it's out with the old and in with the new. People come from all around to spend one last night in the hotel that was once called the jewel of South Mississippi hotels.
I guess condos are coming in. That's progress, they call that.
After nearly 76 years of hosting guests in South Mississippi, the Broadwater Hotel, part of the President Casino's property, is closing its doors forever.
It has a glorious past. It has kind of a mixed present, and the future of it is going to be really, really brilliant, really beautiful.
Developers plan a new condo, casino, and shopping complex for the site.
Our vision is a retail, lifestyle mall, brick streets, gas lantern, outdoor pavilion, restaurants, a lot of excitement at night, shopping during the day, as well as condos.
A few miles away, Biloxi's newest casino and hotel is about to turn up the volume. 2 years in the making. Workers put the finishing touches on Hard Rock Casino Biloxi.
We'll have pieces in here from Elvis,
I went to the car
Madonna,
not too long ago.
Kiss.
And there's a lot of anticipation about when they'll get the party started.
That's crazy.
We're going through a massive training right now with the staff, and as we get our systems in place and we feel very comfortable, we'll open.
And we're definitely going to make our target date, and we're going to open the end of August, beginning of September.
Just down the road, work progresses on the world-class Orr O'Keeffe Museum of Art, designed by renowned architect Frank Gehry.
This is really the most significant event in the southeastern part of the United States and maybe the country. I mean, just to have the George Orr Museum here coupled with Frank Gehry, it is so exciting.
It is to house a collection of pottery from famous South Mississippian George Orr, the Mad Potter of Biloxi, as well as pieces from other artists.
It's just a glimpse of how fabulous it's going to be.
Happy birthday, baby.
A few weeks before Katrina, a famous Mississippian enjoys a huge birthday bash on the coast.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun.
The Olive Capri Casino throws bluesman B.B. King a star-studded 80th birthday party and invites everyone. 2 cities to the west, another birthday celebration, this one in Long Beach. The waterfront city turns 100 years old on August 10th. And as summer winds down, there's still more excitement.
I'm here today because I've always wanted to be on Wheel of Fortune.
The popular game show rolls into town for contestant tryouts on Point Cadet in Biloxi. People come from all over to see if they have the puzzle-solving talent to be on national TV. And in Harrison County, a new civil defense director is taking over. After decades of military service, Colonel Joe Spraggins is looking forward to using his years of experience for public safety.
You know, crisis management, that's what a hurricane is. You know, you have crisis management at that point to make a decision. Well, that's the military way. And I got 33 years of crisis management.
Those 33 years of crisis management will soon be tested more than he can ever imagine. Colonel Spraggins' first official day on the job will be Monday, August 29th. South Mississippians continue going about their everyday lives. But everyday life is about to change. A tropical system forming in the Atlantic will soon be the focus of everyone.
Now, this is the more important bit of information I need to share with you, and that is exactly where they expect this storm to go. Again, look how quick they expect it to become a tropical storm, and when and if it does become a tropical storm, the name will be Katrina.
It doesn't seem like a threat to South Mississippi.
Like, what's crazy, I remember, like,
as Katrina develops into a hurricane and cuts through South Florida.
I remember, like, whenever, like, I remember when watching this, the stuff with my grandpa, like, they were saying that the Katrina was about to come. I remember they were at first, like, my grandpa was like the type, he did not want to move, like, he didn't want to, like, not move, but he didn't want to go nowhere. Like, he believed in, like, one of the people that stuck it out, because, like, y'all was hearing they were saying, like, Camille. So I remember I was young, like, me and my grandpa used to always sit in the chair and watch TV together, and I used to watch, like, Wheel of Fortune, you know, all the old time shows and stuff, like the news. I never forget, like, we were watching a baseball game, and, like, the news came on, and they was like, we got a tropical storm that's coming up. It should be here by, I forgot what, like Thursday or something like that. It gonna be a little bit bad. And I remember like the next day going to school to sign up for, like, elementary school. I was in, like, kindergarten, and I remember going to, like, the little, you know, doing a little tour of kindergarten. And I remember coming home that same day, and I remember that's when they started talking about Katrina. Like, they was showing how it's supposed to go. Then he was like, "Oh, it ain't gonna do nothing." It ain't, you know, stuff like that. 'Cause, you know, people start preparing. Like, my grandma was the type of person that, like, any little thunderstorm or something, she gonna go to the store, buy a whole bunch of stuff. So, like, she started preparing for the stuff, like, almost a week before it really started coming. Like, when she started hearing about it, and he was getting on, like, "Are you wasting all you getting all this stuff? It ain't gonna be that bad." But yeah, I had to say that.
All the information for the National Weather Service has the storm hooking back into Florida's panhandle.
Now, again, watching what's going to be happening with Katrina, we're watching it move out toward the west, but then it takes a northerly turn and then up to the northeast. So they're still maintaining that it's going to be going in around Apalachicola. So again, that is very good news for us here in South Mississippi. However, we're still going to be keeping a close eye on it.
South Mississippi has recently been twice spared any major damage from Hurricanes Dennis and Ivan, both of which ravaged Florida's panhandle. And with the current track of Katrina, there's no reason to believe any different. That is until Friday afternoon, August 26th. The 4 o'clock tropical advisory has news that will concern every South Mississippian. Katrina's path has changed.
The prognosis, not so good for us now. It has shifted back further to the west, and anywhere where we are seeing this yellow, that is, of course, the potential for where this storm could go. So again, we'll be keeping a very close eye on this.
Hurricane Katrina is now headed towards South Mississippi on a wide path. Even though the cone covers hundreds of miles in either direction, people begin to prepare as the storm moves into the Gulf of Mexico. There isn't a rush at first, probably due to the fact that the area dodged other recent hurricanes, and for some, complacency has set in. But by Saturday afternoon, many people were taking no chances. Katrina has turned into a huge storm, and it's now being compared to Camille.
Yeah, I remember
Homeowners
that, like,
everywhere
bro,
board up windows and fill sandbags.
I remember, like,
I gambled on Dennis, and I didn't put up.
Sandbags.
But I'm not gambling this time, so I got to put up. I'm thinking. I remember, like, people coming over.
Well, my neighbor started putting his up,
like,
and then I said, well, maybe I should,
crazy.
because he's never put it up before. And I think this one's a little bit more serious than the rest of them.
I got a big house. My mom lives next door. She's got a big house, and we stayed in this house for Hurricane Camille, and we're 28 feet above sea level. We had 11 inches of water in this house. So, you know, East Biloxi is a low-lying area, so, you know, you need to get prepared in case you have to evacuate and get out early, so you want everything done.
Stores see a jump in business as people who aren't ready for a hurricane hurry to stock up on supplies.
Crazy. Like, that's like how the old Walmart.
Everyone's locking for generators, plywood clips.
That was like good times, y'all. That was like
plywood,
life was easy.
Fasteners,
not gonna lie.
Water, batteries, the whole gamut. You know, the last emergency situation we had, everyone was kind of frantic. This time, everyone seems to be calm.
but I think as we get closer to this tonight and tomorrow, it's going to get a little more frantic. Everyone is going to start reaching and grabbing everything like they do. You know, when you get close to anything, you just get the jitters.
It's just scary. I just heard about 10 minutes ago that it could go from a 4 to a 5. We're concerned. When they say Category 4, Category 5, you better board up and get ready.
A parade of boats begins to leave the Gulf in a routine trip they make whenever tropical weather threatens.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. At that time, I didn't know what a Category 4 or 5 was, or like what it meant. But I remember they was talking about it might go from a Category of 3 to a 4, and that's when like people really start like putting up stuff like bro. I remember that time like vividly. I remember at my house like we went to the store. Like we had went to the store like buku times. Like we didn't have a truck, but we had like a van. I remember I got my first splinter, and I remember I got stung by a wasp on my eye or my hand. I think it was my hand because I was out there. I wasn't really helping, but I was helping them put up like the
Mississippi Sound.
My bad, y'all. I was helping them put up the little the shingles and stuff in the back. So like for example, I had we got this big back window, and I remember I had helped them put up I ain't helped, but they had like a little thing to put up the back window, and it was like a little deck, and I had got stung by a wasp messing over there. But during Hurricane Katrina was crazy. That's when I first started liking like oatmeal. Is it oatmeal? Yeah, it was oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal. That's one of the little packets.
They pass the eastern tip of Biloxi, known to locals as the Point, and head into Biloxi's Back Bay. Back Bay is usually a safe harbor for boats during bad weather from the Gulf. But like everyone else in our area, boat owners will soon learn there's nothing usual about Hurricane Katrina.
I'm here at the Popsbury Bridge, where right now the bridge is open and we can see dozens of strip boats going through trying to get safe harbor. And joining me now with bridge maintenance is Stephen Lesh. Mr. Lesh, what kind of schedule are you opening the bridge on right now?
We're opening right now at every half hour at 10-minute intervals, letting the boats come through. We urge now is the time to evacuate, get all these boats through before the winds get 34 miles an hour sustained. We cannot open when that's the case, and we're trying to get them out as quickly as possible. And the traffic and boats have been very patient. It's working very well.
With the dawn of Sunday morning, August 28th, South Mississippians awake to the news that Katrina has grown even stronger, a Category 5 storm with 175-mile-per-hour winds. And more alarming news, South Mississippi will be directly in the path of the east side of the storm, the most powerful and potentially the most deadly side of a hurricane.
And if this storm stays on this track with the forecasted intensity, let's just say it's not going to be good. You need to prepare. Now, all those other ones missed us to the east. This one doesn't look like that's going to happen. This is going to probably be one of the close to the worst case scenarios if everything forecasts as present.
People waiting to decide what to do.
Let me see, can I go back? I want to share like where we was at. Like, let me see. Like we right up. I live like right up in here, like right up in this part. So the storm is coming straight for us. Like I never forget seeing that like on the TV, and I ain't gonna lie, I got nervous, and they were like 100 and some miles per hour winds, and I'm like, bro, like, what up, Ben? But yeah, y'all, like, I remember whenever Hurricane Katrina came, bro, like, I've been watching this, it's crazy. I be having good memory over old stuff, bro, and it's like, I remember watching this with my grandpa and, like, just seeing this, like, they were predicting they was gonna come up. But he kept saying it was probably gonna turn, I guess, because, like, the last storm, it was gonna turn, but I don't know, that motherfucker did not turn.
This one doesn't look like that's going to happen. This is going to probably be one of the close to the worst case scenarios if everything forecast as present.
People waiting to decide what to do can no longer wait. Katrina is gaining strength, and time is running out.
You're going to hit the road pretty soon?
Pretty quick.
Are you worried about this storm?
I went through Camille. Scared me, but I mean, my wife's more scared about it than I am, and they say it's going to be pretty bad, but so I'm going to have to get her out of town.
Ma'am, are you leaving? Are you heading out?
Yes, right now.
What made you decide to leave?
175-mile-per-hour winds.
Hell yeah.
That's bad. I was here through Camille, and I know some of those houses are going to go up like matchboxes.
What are your thoughts about this storm?
Well, you know, I've lived here on and off for about 30 years. I moved back here right after Camille, and I remember what it was like then. And this has got all the earmarks of something that could be. I told my family as we were coming down the beach, I said, you might want to take a look, because if it comes right ashore here, it may not look like this again, you know. And that's kind of melodramatic, but, you know, I remember how it was here in '71 and when we first came back after Camille. And, you know, people take these things a little lightly, I think, because we really haven't had a really strong storm here, you know, in a long, long time. Last one I can remember was Frederick, when we didn't have any power for, you know, a week or 10 days after Frederick in '79. But, you know, if we're lucky, it'll go east or west of us, but you never know. And I can't take that chance. I live about a block off the beach, and so I just can't take that chance.
South Mississippians are now under evacuation orders from Civil Defense.
Like,
and for those who obey
videos
that
like
order,
this,
the roads out of town
so much
move at a
memory,
snail's
bro,
pace.
For much of this day,
like
I-10 eastbound has been nothing but one big traffic jam. Cars and trucks moving very, very slowly. In fact, it got so bad from Louisiana to Alabama that the state closed the eastbound lane by blocking the on-ramps. And that lasted for about 2 hours. But just a short while ago, officers were letting people back on the on-ramps to get back into the eastbound lane, saying they felt that the traffic was moving smoothly again. However, if you take a look at the traffic, it is still bumper to bumper. It is still moving very, very slowly. So I guess it's anyone's guess if it's really moving slowly or not. I guess you'd have to ask some of those drivers in the eastbound lanes of I-10. These folks are moving out of the area, trying to escape the hurricane that is bearing down on us. They are headed eastbound on the interstate.
Meanwhile, at Marine Life on the water in Gulfport, work is underway to protect the dolphins and sea lions that entertain thousands of tourists a year.
Moby Salani joins me now. And Moby, how are things going? This is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hectic. You know, we're preparing, we're moving animals, we're moving equipment, we're moving our merchandise, we're totally evacuated.
Do you think the animals know there's something up? I'm looking over there at those dolphin, and they look real interested in what's going on. Of course, they always are anyway, but animals have a sixth sense, don't they?
Well, when they see activity, they know that something is going on.
So what is your main priority then today as far as marine life is concerned?
Well, our main priority is to secure our animals, secure our facility, and so that we can keep everything safe and come back and be in operation.
Back on the beach, surfers take advantage of the changing weather.
What is it that drives people ahead to the water when there's a hurricane coming?
We always have the wind. We have a good beach and everything, but the wind really makes the difference. And you're going to have like 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds to keep a kite up, and, you know, to move around. You know, if you come out here on a clear day, you know, and it's calm, it's just, you know, it's no fun. You're going to be sitting there waiting for the wind. So they take it. All surfers take advantage of anything with the weather, you know, and you get it while you can get it, and the police going to run you off.
On the air, WLOX TV is now covering the storm around the clock for people hungry for storm information.
I want to explain something to folks. You're saying, well, why are you guys going on so early to talk about this? Well, folks, we're trying to tell you the gravity of the situation with this particular storm. This is not a storm that's going to move to the east of us. We are not going to be on the west side of this storm on the current track. We're going to be on the east side of the storm, and from the looks of things, we're going to be very close to the center of the storm.
With each Katrina update, the news gets worse. Now the projected landfall Monday morning. High tide. The worst possible time to come ashore.
Starting from about 4 o'clock in the morning until at least 12 to 13 hours, it's going to be just, you know, it's going to be hurricane force winds for 12 hours.
Not a pretty sight at all, sir.
Not a pretty sight, and not something that we've seen here, I don't think, ever, to the fact of that many hours of just solid hurricane force. The eye wall's 30, you know, the eye's 30 miles wide, and when you're looking at that with the surge that we're talking about now, they're talking 22 to 28 feet.
Yeah, that's crazy for like a storm to
come. A different ball game indeed.
That's crazy for a storm to come on like All right, so like the eye wall is like basically like this, like the eye wall is right here, and this they say like this like the strong part of this like mainly because like, it's a rotation. So like the east side of the storm is like where it's like when it's going. So the strong side gonna be right there. So it's the weak side gonna be over here because most of the it's just gonna get to like the tail end of it. So we getting the eye of it. That bitch going straight through us. We up in here like Mississippi right up in here, the coastline right here, New Orleans, Louisiana, like all that's right up in here. Alabama up in here. So, but we all up in we getting it direct hit like a bowling pin, bro. And for all this to stay on land from like 4 in the morning to like 10 o'clock, that's a long time. That's what 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 6 hours of just constant hundred some mile winds, bro. Like that's a long time for a storm to really just stall on land, bro. Like that's why I feel like it hurts so much because it stayed on land that long. Normally, a storm will come on around like 4 in the morning and be gone by it'll be on up through here, or it'll like come through out here by 6 o'clock. So it'll be like 2 hours of you get like because normally a hurricane will be bad, but you only get like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours at most. But 6 hours, bro, that's crazy, bro.
Fears of a tidal surge, the likes of which the coast has never seen, begin to sink in, especially in Hancock County, where Katrina is projected to do the most damage.
What we're trying to put out to people, you're looking at a category, possibly a Category 4 storm coming through. We want people to go ahead and start making preparations now. Let's get out now. We're trying to make sure everybody understands that this is a serious storm. This is not a tropical storm. This is a possibly Category 4 storm.
With potential storm surge of 18 feet, that will put water over much of Waveland. And we want our people to prepare. Don't wait till the very last moment. This is a very, very serious storm. It's not like the tropical storms and Category 1s we've had in the last few years.
We're not looking at a good situation. We've been fortunate with the last few that's come through where we've pretty much dodged some big bullets. But this one didn't bullet. This is more like a cannon. It's coming. We're going to get hit.
More calls from people in charge to evacuate. Shelters across South Mississippi begin to fill up.
I urge all citizens to put their own safety
what's up, Alex, bro?
and the safety of their families first by moving to safe ground.
We want to urge you to get out of this area as soon as possible.
It's imperative that you get out of this area as soon as possible. This is a very dangerous storm.
We urge you people to leave as soon as possible.
If you're looking at TV, please, you need to close up your home and don't worry so much about boarding it up anymore. Just please leave. This storm is dangerous.
Again, that was First Lady Marsha Barber, Director of Public Safety George
And bro,
Phillips.
another thing y'all gotta remember, like back then you didn't have, back then you didn't have cell phone where you could go on and like check out the storm. You could, you know what I'm saying? Like, only thing that you had communication what was going on was like regular TV. Like if you had cable, dish, direct TV. I don't know if they had charter and all that stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like mainly channel, like that's the only way you could really tell. Or if you had like a radio or something like that. But other than that, you couldn't like check on the phone and see what a storm was gonna be at, how the storm. You know what I'm saying? Like so, just imagine like for people that didn't have like cable or whatever, like they couldn't really like talk to nobody, or you couldn't really like. That's the only way of communication they really
Saying
had.
over and
That's
over
crazy
and
looking back
over
on
again
that,
that if you have to leave, or you should leave, if you haven't by now, that get out. Get out, get out, get out. That's the bottom line of that message.
What's your name, sir?
Lonnie Myrick.
Tell me, why did you decide to come here?
Well, mainly because that's what she said to do.
Now, were you guys scared of the storm? That's why you decided to come?
Well, we didn't want to stay at home with that Category 5 because I had just moved to the coast when Camille came in, and I sure didn't want anything worse than Camille. So Camille was my first experience with a hurricane.
Many people evacuate, but many don't.
I don't right now have anywhere to go, and I've stayed through Camille, from Camille on, so I'll just sit this one out also.
And with more pleas to get out of the area come fears that many aren't listening, and it will soon be too late.
It grieves me that I think we had some hurricane fatigue, that because Ivan ticked over to the east right at the last and missed us, and Dennis never quite came this way, and that people had boarded up and secured and hunkered down, evacuated twice, that this time we failed to get some people's attention as early as I wish. And that bothers me, and that's why I said today in the press briefing, I mean, I beg people to leave. You know, don't fool around with this storm.
Driving around, I see, not a lot of preparations going on, boarding up windows, and flew over 49, even though the traffic is steady. I don't see as much as I'd hope. And I just fear that people are going to wait till the last minute and then maybe decide not to evacuate.
I'm here at Bayou Oaks Mobile Home Park here in Gulfport, and I'm talking to Monique, who has decided to stay. Monique, why are you staying?
First of all, we were supposed to evacuate the last hurricane and nothing really happened. And by the eye being in New Orleans, and all we're going to get is just the wind and the rain, I don't think it's necessary for anybody to leave.
Right. So you're not nervous at all? Did you at least stock up on your supplies?
Yeah, I got supplies, but still,
But yo, chat, hold on.
If he wants you, he's going to get you, regardless of where you go.
Now, facts about that. But I always was taught that, like, well, I assume that's a trailer. You can tell that's like a trailer park, but I ain't gonna lie. I hope I don't know what she had to this day, but I hope she made it out of the storm and stuff like that. But if I'm living in a trailer and I hear some bad weather coming, bro, I'm leaving, because I feel like a house, you got more chances, like, of if the water come in, you could go up to the attic, or like, you got it's concrete. But living in a trailer, I feel like you ain't really got no chances, because like the wind go just you know what I'm saying, it ain't even bolted to the ground. But that's the thing about it. Some people got what they believe in. Some people want to ride it out. But at the same time, I do feel her, because like we didn't have a storm before where like you go buy all this stuff, and then like whenever the storm come, it don't be what it seemed. But I always was taught, like, they always say, like, I'd rather be prepared. I rather be ready. Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. That's how it really supposed to go. Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. But everybody got their own. But I would have left. I'd at least went to somewhere. I wouldn't have stayed in no mobile home. I ain't gonna cap. That's the only reason why, like, I be thinking about like going place and get like a trailer, cause they be having some nice trailer. But I be like, bro, once you got a bad storm, bro, like the trailer gonna get torn apart so easily.
Now I know that with it being so bad, are you worried about if you need help, people being able to get to you or anything?
Well,
like about rescuers?
I mean, that's what they're here for. So if I need them, they should be able to come and get me.
I just want everybody to understand that if this storm keeps on this track, keeps intensifying, in other words, if this forecast is right, we need to be prepared.
Right.
This is the one that we've been talking about. This is the one we want to beat everybody over the head with and say, this is the one we don't mess with.
As the hours pass, those who wait to evacuate find themselves searching for gas stations that still have fuel.
That was the bad part about it, bro.
I went to a truck
Like,
stop
it was
over there,
no gas.
couple
Like,
down the road, and
I feel like that was like the most
pass roads.
Worst
so,
thing ever.
I mean, either they are wall to wall or they say they're already out of service. So, and I'm just making sure in case I have to go, because my family's so worried about me being this close to the water to get back inland somewhere. So.
The roads inland for evacuees who do have gas become slow-moving traffic jams. But on Highway 90, a different story.
As it begins to get dark here along the Mississippi coast, some last-minute boarding up is underway. Here in Biloxi at O'Charley's, the crews are putting up the last boards. We saw a lot of businesses and a lot of homes boarded up as people get ready to ride out Hurricane Katrina. And if you look over at Highway 90, we're crossing over the sidewalk in front of O'Charley's. Highway 90 is virtually empty. There is not a lot of traffic at all, so there are no traffic jams here to worry about. And if this was a normal summer Sunday evening, you'd probably see quite a few people on the beach getting in some last-minute walking as they enjoy a sunset for the day. Well, I can tell you the only creatures on the beach right now are the birds.
It's now Sunday afternoon, August 28th, and Katrina, a Category 5 hurricane, is spinning towards South Mississippi. Thousands have fled the area, but many have decided to ride it out. The wind is picking up, and a sense of dread about what's to come settles on South Mississippi.
Just got off off the phone with Slidell Weather, and the latest thing that we have is that we're looking at somewhere in the next hour, an hour and a half, is have tropical storm type winds should be coming in. We should have hurricane winds hitting here as early as 4 in the morning, and we expect the eye wall to pass in this area or the eye of the storm around 10 o'clock in the morning.
With nightfall, those who decide to ride out
But
the
that's
storm
6 hours,
can now
bro.
only
Like,
hope for the best.
That's a long time, bro.
Police and firefighters have done all they can to get the community ready for what is about to happen. So like everyone else still remaining in South Mississippi,
that's crazy. Like, you
they
know,
wait.
I feel like,
Well, right now we're very close to
like
the Gulf.
I feel like first responders and stuff had it the worst because they got to be out there in the storm. Like, the police officers had to be out there patrolling. The firefighters had to go out there and, you know, cut limbs down while they family at home. You know, that'll be like one of the things that'll be on my mind. Like, I gotta be out here like doing this and my family at home. But I always say, like, if a storm like that ever come back again, bro, like, I got kids now. We leaving. I'm not staying home. Like, I'm not staying at home. Like, I can't stay at home and just go through that. Like, like, I feel like I could make it through, but like the way that shit went, bro, I'll leave. I'll leave, bro. Like, I'll leave and just come back. I wouldn't even want to stay through that. I hate bad weather, bro.
And with the tidal surge and so forth, I feel it may be endangering the station in a minute if we stay. So we'll move to higher ground. I'm hoping it will turn or perhaps go the other way or dissipate. This is a pretty dangerous storm that's coming in on us right now.
I can tell you that most of the people you saw in this room will get little to no sleep tonight and probably little to no sleep for the next week, depending on what kind of damage we incur here.
Not many people will get much sleep as they watch, wait, and wonder about what will happen.
Again, a changing face of the coastline, not just the casinos knew back in 1992, but things since then, like the Hard Rock, like this Biloxi Schooner Pier. Also across the street over here, directly across the street, there's Tullis Manor in the offing there. And beside Tullis Manor, of course, is the much anticipated and much awaited George Orr Museum. I drive by there every day, and they are certainly coming along with the progress of the construction there. And it is going to be quite a facility. But how will that stand up to a storm like Katrina? They built those buildings so that they would be hurricane resistant, and of course had plans to store the artwork and so forth in safe vaults, if you will. I'm not sure of the buildings that are built right now how hurricane resistant, if you will, they are. That remains to be seen. But so many new things in here along the coast in Biloxi, so many things which have never faced the threat of a storm now face.
My bad, y'all. Like, let me see if it's. I need to. It's great. My bad, y'all. I got this new light that I'm trying to test out, and it looks great, y'all. All right, it looks straight, y'all. It looks straight. All right. Sorry about
Facing the threat of Katrina.
The threat of Katrina is growing, and a storm surge like South Mississippi is never known as racing toward the coastline. It is just hours away, and nothing can stop it.
The storm surge is definitely coming. I mean, it is moving rapidly.
We are looking for very, very significant storm surge up on the Mississippi coast. We've been telling you 18 plus feet. There's no reason to think that that's not going to happen.
We're wondering if storm surge does what they predict, 20 feet. If it comes, rises so high, and not only covers the floorboard where we are, but literally comes up about to my head, which is about 20 to 22 feet above the water line. That is
I couldn't imagine like seeing water that high, bro.
Like, something that certainly will be watched very carefully in the coming hours.
We couldn't resist the temptation to come down to the water here, down to the beach, right across from Edgewater Mall, since we've been hanging out at Sears at the Auto Center. And the water is really the thing that is most impressive with a storm like this. Let's face it, we live on the Mississippi Sound, which is a body of water that is not accustomed to producing waves like you're seeing out there right now. I think Greg's getting a shot at a little bit of the wave action. Here we are, he's hitting the water right now. I'm standing in water that's, I got my big boots on, so it's just like, over my ankles at this point.
I ain't gonna lie.
You can...
A fun fact, y'all, I ain't gonna say before all this YouTube stuff, even I'm gonna say after the YouTube, I had applied for this company right there that's filming this WLOX. I actually applied to work there or whatever, but unfortunately I didn't get the job. But I want to be the person that hold the camera. And I was just thinking, bro, like, just imagine if a storm come, I'm gonna have to be out there in the storm filming, like, like I know they probably got special stuff, but that shit'd just be like different. Like you out there filming and like the storm coming, you gotta sit out there in the rain and drive through the rain, bro. That's crazy. I always wonder how do they like where do they go, where they be at whenever bad weather and stuff like that happen.
Kind of maybe get a shot down the shoreline here, Greg. You can see the water in relationship to the boardwalk there. Now, certainly when the storm comes in, it's every belief that it will probably breach that boardwalk and get onto the highway if it's what they are predicting. The water is, you just get some sense of the power of Mother Nature being out here in the water and in a normal, otherwise calm Mississippi Sound, just hearing the waves, hearing the wind and water and the wind-driven rain out here gives you a true appreciation for the power of a hurricane as we get another wind gust right now. Just the water and all this water. Mike talks about the storm surge and the water and the flooding. That's what happens with a hurricane. Water from the Mississippi Sound ends up not only onshore but on roads, flooding rivers, flooding bayous. The water is quite impressive. The storm is impressive. We wanted to give you some sense of what it is right now here early in the morning when we are able to come down here on the beach and show you this. We won't be able to later, I'm sure. East Biloxi, as you know, anybody who's lived here for a number of years knows that East Biloxi typically goes underwater, even on some tropical storms. Storms like Allison, certainly with Hurricane George, it was underwater in East Biloxi. The water is a powerful force with this storm, and I'm certain the same will hold true for Hurricane Katrina as the winds begin to pick up. And we're seeing a little bit more rainfall here down along the Mississippi Sound, right across from Edgewater Mall.
Hi, I'm out here at the Pascagoula Beach where the water and wind is picking up. My partner and I came out here about 2 hours ago, and it was pretty calm. Now, as you can see, the waves are coming over the barriers. I mean, it's amazing how the water and, like I said, the winds are picking up. I know that there is a mandatory curfew at this time, but anybody who is watching and thinking that, oh, I want to come out here to see the water, please do not come out here. It can be dangerous.
Wind and water from Hurricane Katrina here in West Gulfport. We are outside the Grand Gulfport Grand Casino Hotel. This is Preservation Oaks Park out here. Yes, it is underwater. This is the park just to the west of the Grand Casino Hotel in Gulfport, and you can see that the water of the Mississippi Sound is flooding this park right now. Casinos have been closed for some time now. No traffic out on 90, obviously, except for the occasional police officer or media, and that is just about it. But you can see the water, get some sense of the water that is being blown this way by this storm. A lot of blowing wind and rain right now, some strong gusts every now and then here. Greg McNeese and I drove around the city of Gulfport as much as we could. Portions of Highway 90, as we showed earlier, are impassable, so we just have to kind of drive around. We came down 49, actually, and we're able to get over here to Preservation Oaks Park to kind of show you this water and what it's doing. And you can see the rain coming down here, just blowing every which way as the wind gusts are picking up substantially here. But the water from the Mississippi Sound blowing up into this park and blowing across the seawall and breaching Highway 90 in many places.
I guess you could say this is the first significant feeder ban felt here in the city of Gulfport. We are near Uri Pier, and behind me you can watch the Mississippi Sound rushing up over rocks onto the sidewalk and quickly filling what is a roadway that leads to the tip of this pier. And it's not just that the water is rushing up. Look at the power of that water as it rushes toward the Mississippi Sound. I've never seen.
There is an emergency.
This is true, and if and under no circumstance, unless it's just an absolute necessity to get out in it, I can tell you now that the roads are almost impassable all over, and they're getting worse by the minute.
Meanwhile, in Biloxi, the water is indeed rising on the point, and the area is about to be almost completely submerged. At police headquarters downtown, call after call from terrified people trapped in houses watching water get higher and higher. Dispatchers are helpless to do anything but take names and locations for rescues after the storm.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I'm on the beach in Biloxi, and in my apartment, it's coming apart.
Okay.
About 4 foot of water's underneath me. I'm on the second floor.
Right now, there's nothing that we can do as far as coming to rescue you. 911.
I need help. Try to send help ASAP because we have a lot of people over here.
No emergency personnel can be on the road. Okay? That's why there was a mandatory evacuation.
911. I'm right on the coastline. My house is filling up with water.
Okay, how deep is it, the water in your house?
The water is up to my kitchen counter. My house is shaking. It's about ready to come down.
Okay, well, we don't have any emergency personnel out on the roads right now. I can't promise how long it'll be, but as soon as we can get somebody out to you, we will.
Oh God, we're gonna die.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's like the worst feeling. That's probably like the worst feeling ever, bro. Like, just out them 2 cars, like, bro, like, just imagine, like, just imagine y'all, like, put yourself in, like, the last time y'all had, like, a thunderstorm, bro, and the weather was bad, and, you know, you got kids, you got, you know, some people might have elderly people, they can't move around fast as you can, you got little babies, and just imagine, like, they, like she said the water's up to the kitchen counter, so a kitchen counter is probably gonna be like 4 foot at least. The kitchen counter gonna be like 4 foot. So just imagine the water is probably up to like my waist. Like the water is probably already up to like right here. So like if you got any like toddlers or anything, that's over their head. That's over their head. Like if you got any toddlers or anything, that's over their head. Like little babies, that water's over their head and it's constantly rising. Then hell, that's probably like to right here right now or like to my chin. If the water then like they said they can't get nobody out to you, bro. Like that's probably like the worst feeling ever. Then it's probably dark. The light, if the water probably in the plugs in the house, like the power done went out, bro. That's crazy. But that's why they did say they needed to evacuate. So you can't really blame nobody but them for not leaving though.
Police and fire. Well, I just want to let you know that me and Mama are gonna die. We're trapped in our house and it's falling apart.
Your house is falling apart? Are y'all in the attic?
Yeah. We cannot get to the roof. I know there's too much to do. I just want to let you know.
On the air, WLOX begins
crazy.
to experience the same problems as everyone else. High winds begin to rip apart the roof.
Rhonda, we saw the cable come down where Tommy, that's just kind of a piece of what's happening in the studio right now. Our lighting grid is moving.
And don't worry, if it gets a little rockier than this, I'm sure that we will be moved as well. We're starting to get some damage. Reports of downed trees in at least one home not far from here in the Sunkist community where the roof's already coming off. So this is just a sign of things to come.
And it is a sign of things to come. Things much worse than anyone expects. It's now Monday morning, and South Mississippi is in the thick of Hurricane Katrina. As the sun comes up, a huge tidal surge is ripping apart lives and property all over the area. High winds are doing the same. It's hard to believe, but the worst is still to come.
It's still a monster of a storm. It's huge.
All right, welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Katrina. She is definitely making her move on the coast right now. The rain is coming down hard. The winds are really picking up.
Those winds start coming in a little bit later this morning.
No, those winds are coming in now.
Right. Well, but as they pick up, they're going to be coming in even more.
Okay, that was a big gust, folks. That one scared me.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing this, and it's going to get a lot worse.
They probably got the scariest jobs though. They gotta act. They gotta be professional. Act like nothing going on.
With each passing minute, Hurricane Katrina continues her relentless pounding of South Mississippi. High winds batter homes and businesses, and floodwaters pushed by those winds destroy most everything they touch. Homeowners can't believe what they're seeing.
Unbelievable. The sound. I mean, stuff has been picked up and thrown. I never dreamed I would have had water in my house. Oh my God. Still blowing.
Welcome back to our hurricane coverage here on Monday, August, what is the date? August
29th, the
30th?
day that we are not going to forget.
Day that will live in infamy. In fact, I heard somebody who was interviewed yesterday here on WLOX saying this is a day that so many will remember. We all talk about, not so much us, but those who were here during Hurricane Camille still talk about the day that Hurricane Camille struck. Well, probably 15, 20, 30 years from now, those of us who are still around will talk about the day that Hurricane Katrina struck. It will be a day long remembered. Katrina's legacy was just beginning.
And earlier, the most frightening thing so far is, and you saw this video earlier, I believe, we were down, headed for Courthouse Road Pier, the Chemcombs Pier down there off Courthouse Road, and got to Cowan Road and saw the lake ahead where 90 was underwater. And, you know, that wasn't so shocking, but we got up, parked the car on Cowan Road, pointed it to the north on some higher ground, walked down there, and hear the wind.
Yeah, we're actually watching the lights in the studio shaking, so.
We walked down there and the water was being pushed into such a degree that, I mean, it came up quickly. And suddenly we found it over our ankles and we had to scurry up Cowan Road.
Water is now coming on land quickly. Homes that didn't flood, even in Camille, are not spared this time around. People watch the storm surge.
Oh, look how deep that water is, bro.
Until finally,
that's
water
coming to people's
engulfs
houses, bro.
everything.
Look at
Ruining
whole cars underwater, bro. Bro, hold on. Bro, look at, bro, go back. Look at that, bro. Let me see.
Everything. Ruining cars,
like, look
furniture.
at that. Bro, that's like a big house right there, bro. Like, that house is big. The water's almost over that window. So, bro, you know how deep that gotta be, bro? Like, bro, the water's almost over the window. You can't, like, the ground is down here, bro. Like, that's like somebody's porch. The water's almost over their whole porch to the attic, bro. That's crazy. So that means all that water is inside their house. Like, that's crazy.
In the houses themselves.
Like, look at the stop sign, bro. A stop sign is like 10 feet. Look how this water's almost over the stop sign. So, like, you can't even drive through that shit, bro. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy.
We are totally flooded.
Oh, look at this. That's crazy. All that stuff
is gone. This is the bedroom.
That's crazy.
The bed.
Like, we were so blessed that we didn't get that. Like, I feel like where we live at was like the perfect place to be.
Everything
like,
flooding
it was
away.
bad, but it wasn't like that with water.
I'm gonna walk over here to the windows, and you can actually see the water lapping at the windows.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, look how deep that water is.
In some places, the water rises so high that it completely covers homes. And in other places, those who ride out the storm find themselves in attics trying to stay alive. Neighborhoods become lakes within minutes.
Okay, we're in the attic.
Bro.
And you see that little crook in that metal right there? When the water got up there,
bro, y'all know how deep the water gotta be? Bro, like, I don't know if y'all have attic in your house or if y'all ever been to attic. If y'all got, I mean, not been to, seen the attic. Like, if y'all got an attic, go to y'all attic, bro, and pull down the attic and make it stick and climb up the attic. And when you get to the top part of the attic, look at to where, like, your little civil part be at that kind of like pull it down so it can hold. And that's what they're showing right now. So that means, like, the whole, like, where I'm sitting right here in my house, that means this whole part is flooded. Because, you know, the attic is up top part. So that means the water, like, down below, you're underwater. Because, like, bro, the water is almost over this. That's crazy, bro.
I panicked and felt like if the water was going to come up anymore, I needed to have a plan B.
You know, just imagine sitting on the top floor of whatever you're at and knowing that the water's rising to you, you have nowhere to go. And it's got to be a scary situation.
And this is why people were urged to go ahead and evacuate when they had an opportunity to. Point Cadet and that whole area of Biloxi down there is always prone to flooding. So when you hear that a Category 5 storm is coming this way, folks, listen, please. I mean, in this, hopefully it's not too late for these people.
At WLOX on DeBees Road in Biloxi, wind continues to blow apart the roof.
I don't know if you saw that shot that we had earlier from our tower cam, which shot right down on the building, and we had lost a portion of the roof.
So you can see and hear the fury of this storm from this vantage point on the front porch of WLOX right out on DeBees Road. You can see the pine trees bending in the wind back behind me. Listen to that wind. the impressive sound of these hurricane-force winds as they now hit Biloxi. Just listen to that, the rain blowing sideways, the strong wind coming in from primarily the east. As we walk around this way, you can see some of these bushes, and just listen. It is impressive, folks. That is the best word I can use to describe it, just very impressive. Listen to the sound of that wind. These are strong winds. I don't have to tell you that. You can hear it and see it. You can see some of the small limbs out in the front yard here at WLOX, and just strong gusts. It has been gusting at times. We'll get some sustained winds, and it seems that we are getting longer periods of sustained, strong wind like is happening right now as you see the trees and the bushes here on the front of WLOX blowing about.
It's getting very serious here. We're sustained winds well over 100 miles an hour right now.
The National Weather Service is issuing tornado warnings, but what they are telling folks is as this eye wall moves ashore.
See, this is where we was at right here. So that's where we at right there. And this is like, so we was getting it bad, but we wasn't getting the water part like that. We were getting the wind and everything else, but we wasn't getting like the water and stuff like that. But we was right up in here. This is where I live at, right up in here. I shouldn't probably tell.
Sure, you're going to have tornadic-like activity as far as the winds. Now, we're starting to really get some movement on our roof structure right here in the studio at the present time. I rode out 2 storms here in Hurricane Elena and Hurricane George, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen the roof structure move like this in previous storms. So we are seeing some serious situations. I don't know how long we're going to be able to stay here in the studio.
Reports of Katrina's destruction keep coming in.
And we have Jamie Goad, who's on the phone with us right now at the courthouse in Pascagoula. Jamie, how would you characterize the situation right now?
It's pretty grave. That's what I can say. It's incredible what Mother Nature can do. I mean, if we look out the window, it's just like streams of water coming by.
It's a scene happening across South Mississippi. On Lemieux Street in Biloxi, the storm surge forces its way into the heart of the city, carrying piles of debris past City Hall. Behind the scenes at WLOX, work is now underway to move crucial weather equipment to a safe part of the building as wind gusts continue to weaken the roof.
If you can possibly see outside, you're going to see the force of Mother Nature and what she can do.
Steve, what do you think?
I think it's pretty tremendous. It's the strongest wind I've ever seen in my life.
I have to be honest with you, our studios are rocking and rolling right now.
Did you ever imagine that when you moved to South Mississippi, you'd be covering a storm like this?
I never imagined in my life that I would do anything like this.
And judging by the sound that we're hearing, we're kind of...
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's time to go.
Oh, the tower, did that tower fall? Oh, the piles went up in there.
Part of the newsroom roof blows off. There's a scramble to save equipment and set up a new broadcast center in a secure area. A huge hole is now in the ceiling. And even in the secure area, wind gusts overpower WLOX microphones.
I've just been passed a note, and you can probably tell by the expressions on our face, part of our newsroom, the roof is...
Well, I can feel the breeze.
...is going away, and occasionally gusts
You
of
can tell by
wind
their
is
shirts
blowing
that
through
they tied. Look at their shirts.
And now we have heard from Pascagoula, Bay St. Louis, Biloxi, and Colonel Joe Spraggins with the Harrison County Civil Defense that there are a number of people that have just been caught by the rising water. Yeah. They're up in their attics, they're up on their rooftops, they're waiting. Jamie said there's a list of people who have called 911 and they're trying to prioritize as soon as the iPad.
So like we really, like we was over here, we didn't really get that bad, but we got the wind and stuff.
But in Bay St. Louis, one of the areas hit the hardest, a life and death situation caught on tape. A family is trapped by quickly rising floodwater. Police make a daring rescue.
That's crazy, bro. They on boats and stuff. That'd be some scary ass stuff right there, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Look how deep that water is, bro.
It's a day of victims and heroes. What a day.
As the storm continues to pummel South Mississippi.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform,
that's crazy,
you
bro. Like,
have the power.
Katrina
not
was like a
IT,
different,
not admins.
different, bro.
You're in charge.
That's
WLOX stays
forever,
on the air
bro.
despite being driven out of the regular studio and into a makeshift one. Because the studio is out of order, a small laptop computer is used to get the word out.
We are sharing this experience with hundreds of thousands of people.
And actually, life will really be changed for a while, Tommy, here in South Mississippi, from the casino industry to areas that have been hard hit by rising waters with flooding, to WLOX. I mean, our building has taken quite a hit.
The storm is holding together very, very well, and that's not good. When we use term well this time, we don't mean good news. We mean that this storm looks like it is maintaining its strength.
We did keep telling people that there were going to be massive floods, but when we did find out that we're looking at 28 feet tidal surge instead of 20 feet of tidal surge, and when we're looking at having the Wolf River crest at 23 feet, which is 5 feet above what it's ever been in history, those type things were surprises that we didn't realize that were happening because it was not forecast.
Still, the damage reports just keep coming.
As we've been telling you, we're getting various phone calls in with various information.
Oh, wow.
This is the Greenbrier subdivision north of Canal Place in Gulfport. This particular family, don't have a name or whatever, had to swim out of their house. The east side of Biloxi, quote, underwater. 1 block east of 49, a half of the home collapsed, 10 children stuck in the home from what we were told.
We've heard the saying that the casinos, especially the Beau Rivage, had water up the second, third story.
In Long Beach, trees down in the middle of the road and several homes destroyed. Seaman Road in Ocean Springs, 3 mobile homes destroyed. On to Pass Christian. We asked viewers to call us about Pass Christian. Bless you for doing that. On SB Avenue, a couple of blocks north of Pineville, 5 feet of water on the road. So understandably, it almost goes without saying, that means there are cars underwater there. 5 feet of water is a lot of water.
It's now Monday afternoon, and the storm force winds, while still strong, begin to die down. No one imagines the extent of Katrina's devastation that they're about to witness.
You are absolutely not going to believe what you are about to see. I am standing at DeBees Road and Highway 90, and across the street is supposed to be the 8 Flags display. The 8 Flags display is gone, has disappeared, and that's just the beginning of an absolutely amazing scene in Biloxi and Gulfport. Wait till you see what else is gone. This used to be the very popular Olive Garden restaurant, but Hurricane Katrina gutted its interior. Grape decorations suddenly adorn neighboring trees. Across the street, Red Lobster couldn't withstand Katrina's incredible power. It was the same way at Ryan's Steakhouse next door. 3 restaurants all gone, all eaten up by a ferocious hurricane. The scene gets even more shocking up DeBees Road. A van literally slammed through an apartment complex's brick wall. It almost looked like it parked in a garage. The facility's interior courtyard is now missing several second-floor units. They crumbled like a house of cards when Katrina came ashore. Lumber and limbs littered the road. The only building still standing at this corner, the new Legacy condominium.
The scene along the beach in
that's
West
one that's
Biloxi
there
is
now.
one of devastating damage. We are out here in the late afternoon, almost early evening hours, and you can see the wind still from the backside of Hurricane Katrina. A devastating storm that caused a lot of damage from what we can see so far, particularly along the immediate coastline. Greg, if you want to go ahead and swing around.
Looking, I'm standing here.
We'll
with
skip
a few,
through it a little bit.
people who have been out here just looking at what's going on. What do you think?
It's devastating. It's something I would never believe if I didn't see it. It's tragedy.
The Biloxi Ocean Springs Bridge, a major thoroughfare in and out of town, destroyed. Casino barges once on the water, now litter city blocks.
That's crazy. That's like a famous picture. But that's crazy.
Washed up across Highway 90, about to the site where Tullis Manor was located. And folks, I saw the shots from the air. I saw some of the newspaper photographs. Just not the same as in person. This is just incredible. First of all, just the enormous size of this barge. I'm struck by its enormity. I just had no idea how massive one of these barges is.
That's great. That's like a whole casino.
More of an appreciation for how powerful that storm must have been to do that.
But that's because the water was up so high and it floated into.
I don't know how
it floated
many
on
tons
land.
one of those barges weighs, but it is tons and tons of steel, and it flopped it over across Highway 90 just like a tinker toy. Flopped it across Highway 90 over to the Tullis side, away from the Grand Casino side. As we head down toward Casino Row, we're going to turn up Oak Street here. And again, you know, if you don't have familiarity with this area, it's tough. Even me, and I'm familiar with these streets, it's tough to kind of gauge your way around when so many buildings and landmarks and things are missing. This is a pile of debris at the foot of Oak and Highway 90. And you can just look at this mess down here. It gives you some idea of the devastation of this storm. As we turn up Oak here, the bottom portion of the Grand Hotel, Bayview Hotel on this side, ripped out. You can see the destruction there. Yes, the tower of the hotel itself still standing, but much destruction to be dealt with there. As we head up Oak Street, just what's become now a familiar sight in so many of these neighborhoods, just piles of debris. And so close to the water here, we are certainly talking about storm surge debris. The water, which comes in and does its destruction and just pushes things around as it pleases, including houses, pushes houses in and off their foundation and rips apart roofs. And frankly, I'm surprised that actually this close to the water that some of even portions of these structures are still standing. That part is amazing when you see just the destruction around you here. It's just unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable. As we come up to the corner of Oak and Howard here, we're going to take you for just a little bit of a tour down Howard Avenue, and of course have to be careful with the emergency equipment, the public works people.
We're going to skip through it a
so
little bit.
Busy here, keeping busy.
Claremont Harbor, it's everywhere.
From city line to city line in Long Beach, it's the same thing the rest of the coast has. It appears from the assessments we're seeing that Long Beach and Pass Christian took a pretty hard hit from this, and it's history from Camille. We're seeing more damage than what we have from Camille, and you know, it's total devastation.
You know, judging from Camille, which was our standard, if we came through Camille, we were okay. But now there's a new standard.
Camille was terrible, and Katrina is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. You know, you like to document things like this because sometimes you question your memories later on, but the pictures don't lie, and it's really just unbelievable.
The things that I really need, I'm unable to find. Clothes, pictures, that sort of thing. That you can replace clothes, but you can't replace pictures. Just everything's gone. Just total devastation. The whole neighborhood's gone.
I know it's just stuff, but it's like all your pictures and wedding dress, and it's just weird. And I used to love, we were so happy here.
Yeah, that was a crazy time, bro. Like, just imagine everything you work hard for and it's just all gone, and like,
this is terrible.
Like, just imagine everything you work hard for and it's just all gone and you can't do nothing about it. Like, you gotta start all the way over, bro. Like, people work 30 plus years for like their cars, and like, then like what's crazy about it, bro, like a lot of them probably didn't even have insurance on the house, or like they probably didn't have like flood insurance, so like they a lot of that stuff didn't even get covered. They had to just, then they ain't working, so it's like I don't know.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Like you
I
gotta think
hope I
like a
never
whole
do
house,
again. This is terrible.
like some people probably never recovered from that stuff, bro.
Just destroyed, just gone.
Like everything you work hard for, like your whole
I
house
just
is
can't imagine
gone,
this.
bro.
It's just unbelievable. Just know that we'll all pull together and it'll be okay. We always do. It's what we're all about.
It isn't long before people realize they've experienced a hurricane so massive that it eclipses the one long burned into South Mississippi's collective memory as the storm of all storms.
It's Katrina now. It ain't no more Camille. It's Katrina.
Yeah. So that's before and after. Now they doing the before and after. Before. Dog, the whole house is going, nothing left but the steps. Yeah, I remember that casino. I mean that hotel thing. I remember that. It's still there now. Dog. Gutted that whole place out. Damn. That's how I look on Gulfport right now. Like down on the coast, bro, it look just like that. Like half the place never built back. But that happened, like stuff like that happened. Them piers be happening like that every freaking little tropical storm. So I wasn't. What that is? I never seen that before. That was SeaWorld. Dog. That was good. They moved the animals away. Damn. I don't remember that. Damn. That's the beach. That's how I like on some real stuff. That's how I look down there now. Like it look just like that down there now. Like they built back some stuff, but it looked just like that for the most part. Even the trees and stuff got all the leaves knocked off of it. Damn, the whole building gone. I'm trying to see if I remember some of these places. I remember some places, but I don't remember every place. The whole bars got bought, but it's gonna float, so that's why that went up there. But like I said, I keep saying like that's how I really look on the coast now. Like half the stuff didn't come back, some stuff did, but apartment complex got torn down. That's still there now. Yeah. The lighthouse still there to this day.
South Mississippi before and after. When people did recover from the shock of what had happened, they had amazing
to the attic line.
Daisy.
I've been in line for about an hour and a half.
Even though it was rough after the storm, the South Mississippi spirit was strong. Neighbors reached out to neighbors, sharing whatever knowledge, skill, and supplies they could.
It was good that everybody stuck together. You know, which occasions like this, we didn't have much help, but family, they stuck together. Everybody stuck together, and that's what makes it good around here.
It's just something that I do. It's not anything for me because my home, as I said, a few miles away, it's a disaster. You know, I've lost everything, so I figured I'd come out here and just do what I can for them.
Then, the cavalry. Power trucks and crews from near and far arrived to help, and volunteers from around the country came with all kinds of supplies.
Yesterday morning, we had trucks from all over the place.
Yeah, I remember.
People from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. Like, I remember like they came down here like the Red Cross, bro. I remember like waiting in line for like hours for gas, then getting up there. Then they talking about the gas stations out of gas. I remember like I never forget this. Like they wasn't really our cousins, but they was like related to my auntie, and they were like cousins of a cousin, if that makes sense. And somehow they went and got some gas, like these big old drums of gas or whatever. So they was helping people, and when the pumps was down, they had like their little trailer, and they was like, they was letting people get gas. But one man had kind of cut the line, and they didn't like, they didn't like it, so they were like, don't, well, you can't come. So like, but they knew us, so they were like telling us to come, we could get some gas or whatever. So I guess the man of a different color, he tried to skip the line, and they told him that he couldn't. He got to, that he can't get the gas. So I guess the man felt some type of way, so he called the police, and somehow the police came and told them that they can't be selling gas. Well, I don't think they were even selling it. I think they were just giving it away. I can't remember. I know we didn't have to pay for it, but anyway, when we was getting gas, they had basically luckily we ended up getting out the car and running over there and filling up the gas jug, so we didn't have to really wait there. We just go to turn around. But they ended up calling the police, and the police ended up arresting them and stuff, and told them they had to leave and stuff like that. And yeah, so I remember that stuff like that. I remember that vividly. I remember waiting out in the line in the heat for like clothes, for food, like it was crazy.
Here dropping stuff off, saying, can you take it? Absolutely, we can take it. The orange containers through here filled with clothes, every size you could imagine. The canned foods, the peanut butter is everywhere. It's wonderful, and I'm so happy to see everybody coming out here to get it. It's nice.
We've been through it a ton over in our area. I know what it's like.
You stand in line for 3 hours
waiting for a disaster to happen. They
unloaded, processed, and sent on. We're feeding 3 meals a day. We're feeding about 10,000 people a day here, hot meals and stuff. Getting them drinks, waters, blankets, whatever they need. And we're just trying down here, just kind of spread the love of God and try to help people out.
I've had calls from Ramona Valley, California. Some preacher friends of mine is there, Rochester, New York. They've contacted me, some out of Tampa, Florida. They've contacted South Carolina. Basically what they're doing now is getting stuff together, supplies together to send here for us that we might, help in this community here.
Aid also came from the government. The Mississippi National Guard went through the hardest hit areas passing out supplies. FEMA arrived. And for Katrina's victims, the application process brought with it the need for patience.
I know that was
Disaster
hard.
recovery centers were swamped. For many, frustration reigned. And Michael Brown, the head of FEMA, was on the hot seat on Capitol Hill.
I'm a witness as to what happened in Mississippi. You folks fell on your face. You get an F- in my book.
Well, I guess you want me to be the superhero.
Ultimately, the FEMA director resigned, and President George Bush
to be this
on your face.
Capitol Hill.
I'm a witness as to what happened in Mississippi. You folks fell on your face. You get an F- in my book.
Well, I guess you want me to be the superhero.
Ultimately, the FEMA director resigned, and President George Bush later said the government response to Katrina was flawed. For South Mississippi, the change at the head of...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was so young, I can't just really speak on it, but me being older now, I feel like they most definitely should have had more stuff for people like down here that was more, ready to go. I feel like they kind of relaxed. They feel like the storm was gonna kind of pass over, go to the left because of previous hurricanes. But I feel like after they seen the destruction, I feel like they should have had stuff in order instead of like coming down here making people wait. Then like so yeah, I could see like yeah they did fail Mississippi badly. Like I feel like it should have been a lot better. 'Cause my uncle ended up having his house got destroyed and he got a FEMA trailer, but it took a little minute though.
FEMA didn't stop the waiting and frustration.
They have nothing, and there's no one here. You're going to sit there and tell them that where do they sleep? How do they eat? What else do they do?
What about shelters? They have shelters here.
They said there were some shelters, and that was the word, some shelters. How do you house a whole town in some shelters? I think there are those that are higher up that need to, whether it's the state of Mississippi, the city of Pascagoula, the county of Jackson County, or even President Bush, he needs to wake up and smell the roses. Somebody needs to come down and help these people.
Been trying for 4 days to get through during the daytime and at night, and finally, when I did get through to them, they had a voicemail and saying that all their operators were busy and this connection will be disconnected at this time. And click, they were off.
We heard they just announced it on the radio, and for 9 days you don't hear anything about where they are. That's a little upsetting.
There's no way that all of these people that come down and help are sitting somewhere in a warehouse playing dominoes, waiting for a disaster to happen. They have to be mobilized.
They could have done a whole lot more in the time that they've had. They knew the storm was coming. They should have had things staged to move right in to help people.
Are you satisfied with the response?
No, they've done a lot. They came in quick, but it's not enough. It's just not, people are still, people still don't have food. There's people who are trapped down here whose cars went underwater who have no way to get out. Their cars are demolished, and they need food down here too. People don't have stuff. It's horrible.
Months after Katrina hit, many people were still homeless and waiting for FEMA trailers, even when fields of them were already set up.
I heard these mobile homes are ready to go.
That's right. No, sir, they're not.
They're not. What's the problem with them?
They're not, I don't even know exactly. I just know that
Well,
I need to go get some
if you
paperwork.
say they're not ready, you're not sure exactly. What's the problem?
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, I've talked to our public affairs office.
Even with the slow response, there was recovery. Blue roofs became a canvas of color in disaster-strewn neighborhoods. The bright tarps providing protection to homes
that was like
were
design.
salvageable. But still, more lines and more frustration. This time at Red Cross Assistance Centers.
You show up, you stand in line for 3 hours, then they come out and they tell you, come back this evening at 5 and we'll tell you where you can show up tomorrow to play the game.
Red Cross gave my mother-in-law a phone number to call, and she's been trying ever since, and it's been busy every day.
We want to get them through this process as fast as we can. We hate that they're out in the heat like this. We're giving them ice water, food, as much supplies as we can do. We're trying to provide shade for them.
In the weeks following Katrina, President Bush came to South Mississippi 5 times, walking through neighborhoods, meeting with storm victims.
We're going to clean all this mess up. The federal government is going to, will spend money to clean it up.
A procession of other government officials also came to the area to see for themselves the aftermath of the worst natural disaster ever to strike the United States.
I don't know. I feel like they don't really be. I feel like some people really don't be caring about stuff like that. Like, as long as it's not them,
so
they really
much of
don't
the
care.
good in people comes out. But with the good, you also find the bad. Some people use the initial chaos of Katrina's destruction to take advantage and loot.
We just had a few people who used to live here come by, and they said that some of their items had been stolen. And as you can see over my shoulder on this side, a sign's been put up, and they say they mean every word of it. Do not enter, looters will be shot. These people have already lost just about everything that they own, and looters have been reportedly crawling through the debris here, picking up things, taking them away.
Let me make this statement and make it very plain. I got over 1,000 people in the jail right now that doesn't have electricity, doesn't have water, doesn't have toilet facilities. It's hot, and we're running out of food. But you know what? I'm gonna make room for any looters. I've already told all the police chiefs, you send them, and they've been sending them. And if I gotta stack them in the hallways, if you loot, you're going to jail here in South Mississippi.
To stop looters, razor wire was unrolled.
That's another thing I was thinking about. Like, bro, just imagine, bro, y'all take the second out. Just imagine, like, if you was in jail at the time, you already getting treated like crap, And just imagine like this is a time, that's like a perfect time where they could really just say, F y'all, we not gonna care about y'all, cause it's like they could cover it up and be like, we was out of power, we was out of like, we didn't have no running water. You know what I'm saying? Like, then like the water they do get, they not about to bring it to y'all. They about to let the people, outside people get it before y'all get it. So just imagine how many people probably really died in that bit. That was probably
Keep thieves out of the worst hit areas. Along with all the debris, the razor wire made the area look like a war zone. Thousands of people didn't have flood coverage because they weren't in flood zones already operating. The move
rearranged.
Strewn about are hundreds, if not
more to play the game.
Picking up here.
Rearranged. The island's going to be a little bit different for the next few years than it was before. What you saw. We'll have drier woods. Hopefully that'll regrow.
In West Gulfport, there was an additional challenge to all the devastation. The sickening odor from rotting pork bellies and chickens that have been stored in freezers at the port of Gulfport. Katrina's surge spun the storage containers and contents across yards and into homes.
We want to say thank you because we're from this area.
Appreciate it.
Can you describe this odor?
No, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's like a mixture of sulfur, gas fumes. It's just everything that you can, all your worst smells you can think of combined.
Katrina's tidal surge caused so much of the devastation, and once the storm passed, she left an even bigger wave that would hit many homeowners hard again. Insurance companies refused to cover damages from wind-driven floodwaters under regular homeowner policies.
That's crazy, bro.
The insurance company said that's what flood insurance is for. The problem, though, thousands of people didn't have flood coverage because they weren't in flood zones. And for many South Mississippians, there was the horrifying realization that homeowners insurance would not cover a flood.
People didn't know they had they needed flood coverage, and it wasn't even available for most people. If you're above the so-called floodplain, you couldn't even buy it because it is federally guaranteed, and the insurance companies are not going to take the risk, although they will be glad to take your premium.
If we don't get this stopped, what insurance companies are trying to do, it's going to bankrupt the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of Alabama as well.
And going bankrupt was not a pretty picture. Mississippi lost millions of dollars because of casino damage, and the state moved quickly to allow on-land gaming in areas near sites where coast casinos were already operating. The move to allow gaming inland was an early step to getting things back to normal, if there was such a thing, after Katrina. Before long, the massive Grand Casino barge in the middle of Highway 90 was imploded.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
And debris haulers began making the rounds in South Mississippi neighborhoods. But if cities in South Mississippi were going to fully recover, they needed a plan. Governor Barber's Commission on Recovery, Rebuilding, and Renewal brought in architects from all over to draw up a strategy for rebuilding what Katrina had destroyed. Most kids went back to class in makeshift schools by the end of September.
Middle return, ready? Ready!
And Friday night high school football eventually came back, and with it a real sense that things were beginning to get back to normal.
It's a good opportunity for the kids and the coaches as well, and as well as the fans to get out and get things off their minds for a little while.
There was one final bright spot among all the post-storm activity. Dolphins from Marine Life, the popular Gulfport tourist attraction destroyed by Katrina, had been found in the Gulf, nearby, healthy, and ready to be rescued.
These are animals that have depended on us, and we are responsible for them.
They had somehow amazingly stayed together during the storm. South Mississippians have endured the worst natural disaster of our times. Hurricane Katrina has forever changed our community, our lives, and our history. Prior to Katrina, we measured hurricanes by the deadliness and the destruction of Camille. But no longer. Hurricane Katrina's impact on our lives will continue to unfold in the weeks, months, and years ahead. But since those last hours when we all walked out and saw the destruction that Katrina had left behind, there have been signs of hope. like the lighthouse that somehow survived the storm's fury. There are other signs of hope as well in our community. Spray-painted messages on plywood debris, neighbors and strangers helping each other, and American flags. Flags planted in fields of debris, flags draped over shells of
right now that says that no one's going.
Well, that's the end of that one. If y'all stayed this far, I know it was like a long video. I know I'm starting to do a long reactions, y'all, but I just wanted to react to that one because I never seen a Mississippi documentary about Hurricane Katrina. It always been about New Orleans. Like everyone, they always documenting how New Orleans was. They never shed light on how it really happened in Mississippi. And y'all got to kind of see a little insight of how it transpired down here where we was at. But yeah, Katrina was one of the biggest storm I ever been in, and I pray that's the only one I ever had to go through. But you know, you never know what might happen in the future. But if y'all stayed this long, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all turn the bell on so y'all be notified when I drop some more lit bangers. And it's your boy Barry. We out.